Alright guys, I got a little bit of a weird hook for you today because I want to talk about the Fortnite community and not necessarily just the worst moments of the Fortnite community. What have they been hypocritical? What have they done wrong over the years? What is the biggest kind of moment in the Fortnite community? We're going to expand on that in just a second in case that didn't make sense. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Kyle. I am your guy with many YouTube channels, and welcome back to the reply room, everybody, where I post in the Discord server for you guys to answer a question or reply to a statement of mine, and I make all of your replies into a video. Thank you very much for everyone for being here. If you want to participate, help us make these videos, join the Discord, description, pin comment down below. This is what I had to ask today, and this is why it's a little bit weird doing this intro over here. Not sure how this one is going to go, and I might have trouble explaining it, so bear with me. What do you think are some of the most hypocritical, dumb, insane things that the Fortnite community has done or said over the years? For a couple examples, here's the type of things I'm looking for. Everybody loved snipers and wanted them back in Primal, but freaked out about them and got vaulted in Chapter 5 early on. Everyone all of a sudden loving Season X. Doxing Epic employees over how their character walks in a video game. Hopefully, that all made sense. Also, keep it to one thing, please. And this is what I had to ask. I wanted to sit on it a little bit more and get some more replies to it, but I also wanted to make a reply room talking about people's hopes for the next season. We kind of got to get the ball rolling on that one. So, little bit, I don't know if it's gonna be short. We'll see how it goes, guys. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your time. Let's get into it. People hated Chapter 2, but now everyone wants it back. I remember people being extremely excited for Chapter 2 to end, but now it's peak Fortnite. Now, what I will say is, first of all, I completely agree with you. I was also one of the original Chapter 2 lovers. I was loving it during the time, but there were specific seasons that were absolutely loved by the community. For example, Chapter 2 Season 2, Chapter 2 Season 3, and Chapter 2 Season 4, where pretty much all unanimously loved. And I know there's outliers, I know there's exceptions to the rule, but that specific time within Fortnite, and not really the delay for Chapter 2 Season 2, but the majority of the season for Chapter 2 Season 2, everybody was happy throughout that. And then the rest of it, man, everybody was like, oh my god, yeah, everybody hated Chapter 2, especially when it first came up, and especially when it ended. You had about, I would say, half the player base really liking Chapter 2 Season 7, but man, like, it's incredible, man. It's incredible. Peak Fortnite. Everybody hated it at the time. Now we're all looking back like, oh my god, my Chapter 2. Complaining when we don't get collabs and collabs haven't returned, but also complaining when we get too many collabs or a collab they don't like gets added. Honestly, not sure if I'm understanding the question correctly. I kind of get what you're saying over here. A lot of people are really quick to hate on collabs until their favorite IP gets added into the game. But I don't think it's right to necessarily hate on the collabs, but I think it's totally fair to just be flat out not interested in a collab. But Fortnite has rarely done a collaboration, especially with things that I am not familiar with, that I haven't enjoyed. Just gotta give it a chance. Hating the metaverse and praising Donald's vision at the same time make it make sense. This is entirely true. For those of you who don't know, Donald Mustard's vision for Fortnite was the Fortnite metaverse. I understand he still would have wanted the storyline and live events to play a big part in this, but this was Donald Mustard's original version for Fortnite. And then everybody goes, oh, Donald, the game wouldn't be so different. The metaverse wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Donald Mustard leaving. Like, that is incorrect. This was always the plan. This was always going to come. The only thing that kind of strayed away from the plan was not having the lore and the live events like I mentioned. Here's an interesting one. Hating on next gen graphics. Personally, I like realistic graphics or a slight tint of realistic graphics. Chapter 3 and 4 had the best graphics ever in Fortnite, in my opinion, because someone's gonna get triggered. Anyways, I don't really see Fortnite Chapter 1 graphics fitting really well as technology advances and so on. Chapter 4's graphics was really amazing, one of the best graphics in a BR game, if not the best. Since everyone was complaining about the graphics for being too realistic, Epic changed it on Chapter 5. Chapter 5 graphics weren't bad, but everyone complained about how bad it looks. Hopefully Chapter 6 will have the same graphics as Chapter 4, or just a mix between Chapter 4 and 5. That is an interesting one, okay? I actually do understand the hate, and I agree and I don't agree with this one. I understand the hate for Chapter 5's graphics. It's too real. It's too different from Fortnite, what Fortnite has been throughout this entire time that we've been playing it. I don't even like the graphics of Chapter 5. I can look at it and say, oh my god, this is beautiful, but for Fortnite, I don't think I will ever prefer that. I do agree, Chapter 4 was the best graphics. It was the best mix of realism and the cartoonish version of Fortnite, but I also understand people loving the cartoony feel of Chapter 1. I don't think it's bad to enjoy the Chapter 1 graphics or say it doesn't fit well just because technology is advancing. It still was pretty special, but over the course of Fortnite, for the most part, I think they did a good job keeping that style and updating the graphics at the same time. And Chapter 4 was the best they could do it. I just think they went too far in Chapter 5 personally, but very, very interesting take there. Kind of true. Karma Farmers suddenly missing the Chapter 4 map as if it wasn't considered the most dysfunctional mess of a map of all time. This is literally how it always goes. How it always goes. And you can guarantee it. Once we're in Chapter 6, people are going to be posting about how much they miss the Grand Glacier. They're going to be missing the train station. They're going to be missing all of this stuff. You guys remember when Epic Games used to care about the way that their map was structured? The update of Mount Olympus was so great. Like, I understand, like, there were some great map changes over here, but people are so going to miss this map in Chapter 6, and I'm going to be here like... hating the primal biome for having an ugly orange color, but not saying anything when the medieval biome came out. Edit, I just heard the sentiment from another creator's videos, and I thought it was stupidly funny. Okay. Was it that similar? Yeah, it might have been. It was pretty close. It was pretty close. I'd have to really take a look at that one, but you may have a good point there. Oh, this is easy. Everyone used to hate Chapter 2 except for me. Now, personally, Chapter 2 is near the bottom of the list of chapter rankings, but that's besides the point. Despite everyone hating it previously, now everyone thinks it is the best chapter to grace the game. I think this is really dumb because when Chapter 2 comes back, the same people now loving it are going to hate it again and then probably going to move to Chapter 3, and it just makes me really mad after that so much hate and turmoil that has been thrown at Epic. It's suddenly gone and now people aren't happy with the game nowadays, even though it's basically what people wanted back in the day. This community can't be happy, and this is exactly true. This is why Epic Games should never, ever listen to the vast majority of this community. They're just... I don't even know if they should listen to anybody, to be honest with you. Just give nobody special treatment. Do what you think is best, Epic Games. I think one of the most hypocritical things the community has done was probably the sudden praising of Chapter 3 Season 3 Vibin after the community had heard it was Donald Mustard's last season, which he had worked on. In my opinion, I thought personally Vibin was an okay season with the Dragon Ball update mostly saving it. Don't get me wrong, Donald Mustard is a visionary, amazing storyteller. However, just because this was his last season before the big bad Metaverse took over, sorry the emoji, doesn't lead to the justification of now praising it as an amazing season when it was highly criticized at the time by these people for its lack of content and considered to be one of the worst seasons of all time when it ended by the community. Normal Fortnite community hypocrisy. And Sleet, thank you so much for coming to the Discord server. I really appreciate you helping me make this video over here. Guys, this is entirely true. It was almost immediately after that Donald Mustard interview came out, and he's like, well, Vibin was my last season. I just wanted to make it a big goodbye for me. Yeah, Donald, you did a great job on Vibin. I always liked Vibin, by the way, guys. Vibin was such an underrated season. Didn't deserve the hate for this community. I miss Donald Mustard. Now, I do miss Donald Mustard myself, but Vibin was one of my least favorite seasons of all time. One of the most hypocritical things a certain group of people have done in the Fortnite community was causing the removal of patch notes. After the World Cup, there was a huge rise in competitive players, and because of this, mostly these players would tend to whine and complain about any new weapon we got, saying these items were too overpowered or too weak. While this might seem fine at first, most of these comments were not used to critique Epic on how they should improve or change these weapons. Rather, it was just comments like the stereotypical nerf this shit or this item busted type comments after seeing weekly patch notes for weapon changes and balances. This would continue on throughout Season X and all the way up into Chapter 2 Season 2, and by this point, these members of the community went from an unnecessary and pointless comments to more serious and hurtful comments directed towards the Epic developers working on the game, ranging from death threats to doxing. After all this happened, Epic decided to stop posting public patch notes due to them causing hatred towards the developers that didn't deserve it. The hypocritical part of this comes when these same members of the community that got patch notes removed start to complain about the patch notes being removed after the decision was made. Ever since then, patch notes have been removed from the game, though Epic started to post about balances on Twitter again around late Chapter 3 era. However, they no longer get into the specifics of what exactly has been nerfed or buffed about a weapon. This is entirely true, and I remember it clear as day. And then these people are literally like, Epic Games, where's the communication? They have the audacity to sit down and be like, Epic, don't you owe this? Don't you owe us that much? Just a little bit of communication? That's all we ask for, and they're so nice about it too. Like, you know, like Epic Games, we just need communication from developer to player. That is all we want. It's like, really, dude? After all of these years, I can't believe that they communicated with you as long as they did. This is entirely true, and this happened throughout the entirety of Chapter 1 and early on Chapter 2, just like Sizzo said. This was so true. I always say, healthy criticism for the game and the developers can be an amazing thing, but this community never does that. You, the viewer, might do that, but you are such a fraction, a small, tiny percentage of this community that it essentially doesn't matter. You're right. Everybody said, Epic, nerf this shit, and then they just insult the developers. What an incompetent company, as if they know any better, right? Like, it's insane to me. Guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you for helping me participate. Join the Discord and check out this other reply room video that we just did recently. We have a new one coming up, so join the Discord like I just said, guys. I will see you in the next video. Take care.